When you go to a set in America with 250 people and staff, and you have to make a day work, and you have to get it done, and you have to do the best that you can, you become a better director. And I think that, I've been training my muscles there. And yes, I have a conflict there because this is not my voice. I always say I'm babysitting somebody's baby, right? I mean,
That's beautiful.
Love this definition.
it is somebody's baby. I'm coming to babysit it. I will hope that the baby doesn't die, and I will do my best to keep it alive.
So our next guest is an acclaimed filmmaker and television creator. She broke into the US market with her feature Dead Women Walking, which featured in both Tribeca and Venice. She has created, wrote, and directed the original series Bad Boy, which premiered in Israel to critical praise before launching globally on Netflix, and directed episodes of Showtime's City on a Hill, Amazon's Bosch, and the pilot for Peacock's Long Bright River. We are humbled to welcome Hagar Ben Asher. So, Hagar, how are you doing?
Good. I hope we're not going to talk about AI.
Never again.
Never.
Okay.
With you? No, we don't
Okay.
want to,
Yeah. I stopped them to call you here to talk about other things.
you.
So let's begin.
Okay.
You are having a very interesting path. Your early works, films like The Slut, were very truly avant-garde and raw. And then you transitioned to directing major US studios shows, like we mentioned. How do you define this transition? What do you make of it?
What do I make of it?
I don't know. How did
Money?
Important.
Okay, so next question. Thank you so much, Hagar.
Thank you. I had a great time. It was a pleasure.
Okay,
being
we
here.
can
Thank
close
you
it up.
very much. Yes.
No, but it is...
No, I can't.
What
Okay.
happened? This is
but-
very unique.
Yeah. Do you know who's who?
Who's
I
who?
mean, because you're like a three-headed monster, so I'm wondering if it's like a Rosenkratz and Guildenstern situation.
Yes.
that you
Oh,
don't-
we can distinguish
Sometimes I wake up
ourselves.
thinking I'm him.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
No, so I'm
okay.
Liad.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
I'm Nitay.
And I'm Arnon.
No, I'm sorry. I'll answer your question.
No, you don't
I'm
have to.
avoiding it. It's just that I'm avoiding
Wow,
it.
she's
So-
doing it really
You
well.
can now.
Yes.
You can now say
You're
whatever
confusing
you want.
the enemy. I love it.
You can
Okay.
just tell us a little bit about
No,
what happened there.
I'll answer it gladly. So, yes, so I did these, you called it avant-garde. Another word I'd go for is art house. Another word I'd go for is somewhat boring. Another word I'd go for is no audience. And I think that at a certain point in my life, I thought to myself that it'd be nice to do something that people actually see.
Whoa, people
Thank you.
actually see fiction films and series.
You see, it works.
Yeah.
You could always make a horse riding on Tom Cruise in a cruise.
We said no AI.
Sorry.
We said no AI.
That is my action, like to cast Tom Cruise for The Slut, right? That
Yes,
would be
that
the,
would have an audience.
that would be the
One of
peak
the
every
kibbutzniks.
yes in the
Yeah.
kibbutz.
Yeah, in the kibbutz.
Tom Cruise in the kibbutz, sleeping
Riding
a
with
horse
on a
women
cruise
in
with
the
the cruise.
kibbutz.
Stop confusing us, Hagar.
sorry.
What's going on?
So I'm not bashing the things that I did in the beginning. I think they meant a lot and they paved my way. And at the same time, I think there was really that moment that I said, okay, I love cinema with all my heart. And those films for me were this a love song for filmmaking. And I think that throughout time I learned that I can still love filmmaking with all my heart and also communicate with an audience. This is what I've been trying to do. This is what I'm hoping to keep doing.
And you succeeded in doing.
Okay.
Are succeeding.
I got you on the
What?
spot
No,
right now.
yeah.
Okay, no
But-
problem.
No, but
No, but speaking about your latest success is Bad Boy. And Bad Boy is Yeled Ra, is a truly phenomenal success, an Israeli Hebrew-speaking
Thank you.
series
Yes.
that really took the world by storm.
Right.
Bad
Intense
Boy
scene.
is a story, a true story of a comedian and his life in youth penitentiary, right, a correctional facility. And before diving into the story, which I would love to hear more about and the way that you've worked, I have a question that is kind of different. In the current landscape, in the last 2 years, being able to tell a story, a very Israeli story, a very Hebrew-speaking local story, and somehow going through the fog, through the noise and the war and the anti-Semitism and whatnot. What do you think captivated people in Bad Boy that was able to kind of go through all of that, through through the shit of everything?
Everything I will say, it sounds like I'm, tapping on my own shoulder, but I think that there's something in this show that is very unique in the way that it's structured, because it has to whom hasn't seen it, it has a stand-up comedy, which is somewhat the storytelling element in it. So there's something maybe unique about the way that it's built. And I think that it's not necessarily an Israeli story. It's a kid in prison trying to make a life for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it somehow managed to cross the shit.
And in this specific scene, we see this motherly connection, right? Because it was the thing that struck me the most in this scene was like the fact that she's realizing that it's maybe her fault, and then she's trying to recuperate and to undo the things that she did. So maybe does this have anything to do about whatever Liad asked right now, like about cutting through the noise, like the motherly connection within the show?
I think it's about taking parental responsibility, and I think everybody can relate to that, right? Because even if you're a kid, you're obviously blaming your parents for everything that happened in your life. And if you're a parent, you're blaming yourself for everything that how you're fucking up your kid and whatever damage you're doing. So there's something about that endless cycle of blame, guilt, and being Jewish, but not only, but being human. So, I think that there's something very fundamental about that basic truth, and everybody can understand that.
Within comedy, relationship, motherly love, etc., what strikes you most close to home as a storyteller? Like, what is the thing that really kind of drives you to tell those stories? Well, quite a personal question.
Yes, he
She's gonna
dared.
try to avoid it and confuse us. Be aware.
No, because when people used to ask me about the slut, it was an easy answer, right? So, okay. I think that, that creators never really know what they are actually telling in the shows or the films that they're doing. Because everybody can read every show or movie differently, right? There's no, but I think that in this specific show, for me, I was very much drawn to it thematically. The first thing I was drawn to was the theme, was the story about this kid who had this horrible childhood and a mom that really fucked him in every possible way. And he went to prison because he was so messed up, but he found himself and his true self and his future in prison. And I think that there's something about that dynamic between the horrific life that he comes from and the very troubled relationship that he has with his mom, and the way that it actually finds itself to comedy. I think that's beautiful, and that's what I really related to, if that's your question. I don't know.
Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah. And it taps into your career, like in terms of like the path that you moved through, you know, from doing the art house, as you define it, like boring, now, like
No
now.
audience, no
not
money.
really, no.
No,
not,
of
no,
course.
yeah.
Like the art house films, and then going into like actually directing stuff without writing them
Right.
in the States. So maybe tell us a little bit about this path of doing this, and then maybe about a little bit about like Dead Women Walking and where you are now.
From an art house or to a journeyman director.
Yeah, and
like
where's
a
your
seasoned
voice
director.
in all of these? And where's your heart in even in those things that you only direct?
3 questions. 3-headed monster, baby.
I don't know. Okay. So Dead Women Walking was the beginning because it was an English-speaking film, and it was the first time that I actually did something that resonated in the States. And then, you know, I had a very nice path of luck, and I was approached by wonderful agents from CAA, and they said, do you want to work in the States and direct stuff? And it was very, very scary to say yes, but I did say yes. And then I started directing episodes in the States, and I can say something. For me, it's the most educational thing that I could even dream of, because it's about exercising your muscles. Because when you do art house films, which is my real passion, and I will get to it soon enough, I hope, back, but I think that if you're lucky, you do a film every few years, right? But when you go to a set in America with 250 people and staff, and you have to make a day work, and you have to get it done, and you have to do the best that you can, you become a better director. And I think that, you know, I've been training my muscles there. And yes, I have a conflict there because this is not my voice. I always say, I'm babysitting somebody's baby, right? I mean,
That's beautiful.
Love this
Yeah.
definition.
it is somebody's baby. I'm coming to babysit it. I will hope that the baby doesn't die, and I will do my best to keep it alive and maybe even teach it a word or two. But this is it. Okay, so my voice is me maybe trying to teach this poor baby a word or two, and I think
Even
that
your metaphors are motherly.
yes, it's tied up to your question, right? Okay. Yeah, enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I wasn't confused by that, so that
Okay.
was amazing. But then, okay, so you had this huge journey, right? And then you got into directing, and you hope on going back and doing art house again, maybe not strictly Hebrew speaking, but art house again. So we have this crowd of also people that made the best and biggest shows ever made, and also like up-and-comer directors or screenwriters. So I know I got a lot of you when like you were teaching me in Sam Spiegel.
I was his teacher.
It was amazing.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you
she
did
was my
not
teacher.
tell us
You
that.
did
Yeah, I
not
didn't tell
know
you. I didn't
that?
tell you. I want to surprise you on
Whoa,
stage. No, but
whoa.
I got a lot of you because we had a whole semester together.
Right.
And you're like an artist director, and we had, for me as a screenwriting student, it was amazing because I got a lot of this, like how to write. Like I imagine that if I would get you today, it was more about the classes would be more about directing, like being better at the craft of directing, or maybe also.
I mean, not necessarily, because Bad Boy, I wrote completely with Ron Lashem and Noah Pnini, and I was hands-on on the keyboard because specifically me, I don't know how it is for other directors. For me, I think I direct much better when I write. There's something that I understand the scene better if my hands were on the keyboard. So eventually, I think and hope, and my next projects aligned are things that I write and direct. I mean, I never stopped doing that, basically, and yeah.
So,
But do you have an advice for newcomers, what should they do? They're here.
They're here.
Would love to listen.
Anxiously listening. They're eating movies now.
Some of them are even taking notes, just saying.
Yeah.
Who? What did you write? Joking. Boring.
Like, I want to be like her. So do you have like an advice that they can write down or forget for the rest of their life? Like,
Yeah. Be kind. No.
Eat your vegetables.
Look, eat your vegetables.
don't go into prison.
If there's something that I've learned, maybe I would say that seize opportunities to do something or create opportunities to do something. Because I can say that, let's say, Dead Women Walking, which is really what paved all this, all the way for me, was something that happened by chance, absolutely. And it was not something that was meant to happen, and I didn't even know if I should do it or not, say yes or not. And I was, you know...
It was born as a movie?
No, it was born as a short form series for a platform that didn't eventually launch. And that's the reason why I didn't necessarily want to jump in and do it. But then I kind of fell in love with this idea I had about these vignettes about women heading to the death row, because, you know, that's a fun story to tell.
You love your prison stories.
I have fun stories, only fun stories. And eventually I fell in love with this idea. And even though there was something about this that I did not know that would actually happen and be launched and et cetera, I decided to do it. And once I did it, I edited it as a film and I sent it to Tribeca, and it got accepted. And none of this was meant to happen. But I think that once I decided to actually do something, I could take control over my life. And I think that is, you know, being proactive. I think that is maybe the best thing that I can say.
All right.
Being proactive. Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Proactive.
Amazing note.
Proactive.
Proactive.
Yeah.
I love it.
Any final questions?
We have
Final
some
note.
time. You like cutting them
Yeah.
short.
No,
We have
there's
so
this
much
clock.
time, we forgot.
Yeah.
Look, the clock is running.
Since we have more
clock.
time, Hagar,
Oh,
what
God.
did you think about your own interview? How did you feel? How did you
Let's
We don't have
talk
that
about
much time.
AI.
Okay, now AI. So Tom
No.
Cruise as a kibbutznik in the slot.
Yes.
What do you think? You gonna write
Yes.
it or like?
No, I think you're lovely. But you're a good example, right, of doing stuff. I mean, not waiting for budgets, not waiting for anybody to approve anything. I mean, we all know that we're living on failure, right? I mean, we get
Absolutely.
100,000 no's.
That's crazy.
As
And
creatives, yeah.
as
all the
creatives,
time.
right?
As
I
human
mean,
beings.
we're just living from failure to failure and hoping that tomorrow something will change. And I think that what you're doing eventually is exactly what needs to be done. You're taking responsibility over your life. You're not waiting for anybody to say, okay, I'll give you $10,000 for this
To
or not.
make this. Yeah,
And,
actually, when we talked about like what are we gonna say, it was the only conversation that happened like over a month ago, right?
Right.
And in this conversation, I was sitting in a cab in London after a production, like a short drama production that I was supposed to be like a showrunner on, but then it was a whole mess with the script and everything. So like you in Black Pills, I needed to step in and write it at nights before it's actually being shot. So I wrote
That's
it.
his way for apologizing for being so tired at that.
Yeah.
It's like-
No, I wrote it and then slept for 2 hours, and then everything was produced in the following day. So I remember talking with you and sitting in the cab, you told me the story about Black Pills, and I'm like, and then you said something. You said like, yeah, just, it's a short drama. It's a different thing, a short series, a different thing that you were hoping to write as your first feature film or whatever, but then use it. This is the opportunity that I got, speaking like you. Like, this is the opportunity that you got while doing Black Pills. So I feel like it's an incredible note that you gave me while talking with you about this. And for me, it was very inspiring.
Cool.
Last question, because we
Okay.
are running out of time. What would be your dream project, and why is it in prison as well?
Is it though? Do you have a dream project?
Yes,
What is it?
I can't tell you.
Whoa!
And it's not in prison.
Is that good news?
It's
then?
not in prison.
Is it related to having sex or like not?
What?
Is it like the earlier works? I mean,
What?
I mean the works, the earlier works.
Wait.
My
You can't-
students, you
light.
know?
Yeah, student. Sorry. So sorry.
You can't tell us because it's on production, or you can tell us why is it a secret?
Because it's still in early stages of development.
Okay.
And it's
But
none
we-
of your business.
Oh.
Okay.
That's a
I
good,
like that.
a good reason.
I like that.
Yeah, I love
Hagar,
it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
for being
being
with
with
us.
us.